you know, I talked about my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Have you experienced like lazy dating or
Mm.
I brought up the fact that I was in a little bit of a competition myself.
So I'll say this. I feel like my last relationship was lazy. Because we talked about lazy dating, and then we also talked about like the definitions it can go into as far as like there's no label or your boyfriend and girlfriend and there's no plans.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point I was a girlfriend who had a boyfriend who had no plans, who would kind of say all these things but never really took action into doing anything. So I was going with the flow. Because for my reasons or for reasons that I believed he gave and I accepted them for my own, was we put in so much time. But looking back at it, it's like we put in so much time to do what?
My turn. You
You want me to pray?
can do it again. Okay.
Thank you, God, for waking us up this morning. Thank you for another opportunity to do this podcast. Thank you for being in this room and wherever we go, Father God. Thank you for your mercy and your grace. We pray that we continue to speak from the Holy Spirit and not from our flesh. We pray that this message reaches the people that you needed to reach, Lord, and that you help them receive it in their hearts. Help us receive this message in our hearts. May your will be done, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful paragraph. All right. Welcome back, y'all, to There's an I in Marriage, based off of book There's an I in Marriage with Nick and Caleb. How you doing? Yep. Book, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart.
It's all over the world.
We say that every time. Just got to remind folks how big of a deal it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, we do this every 2 weeks. Post these podcasts every 2 weeks on Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because we love you.
Yep.
Because we love you. You ain't got to do this, y'all. But we really hope that marriages can be great. Let's make marriages great again. Right?
Oh.
Yep,
right.
I said it.
You
I
said
said
it.
it. I
Yep.
said it. I said marriages, y'all. Anyways, yeah, as of right now, we haven't heard of anyone looking for publicity for their businesses. We would love to share the wonderful things that y'all have going on, because, we all in this together. You know, we want to see other people be blessed. We want to see. It's not necessarily about pockets and money and everything, but we gotta survive. We gotta thrive, and in order for people to get to where they want to go, then we all need help. We all need help.
So if you have a business or a product or anything of the sort, podcast, anything, really anything, just DM us, email us, comment below, just reach out to us any way that is doable for you.
Yeah, because it's doable for us, right?
Yeah, and we can definitely talk about it, and we love to advertise. We love to support, especially Black businesses. So just
didn't we say free?
let us know, and it's free
Any
advertising.
business, but yeah,
free, absolutely, yeah.
We just showing love.
All right.
So today, actually, let's give a little context, right? Because we had watched an episode of the Steve Harvey Show, of all shows, right?
Okay. So we can kind of explain for people who might not know, especially like with these new generations, they really don't know. And the way Netflix kind of describes,
I missed out on it, but
I love that show growing up. Like we watched. I
didn't have cable.
But,
I had was WGN back up then. That's where it came on.
It came on I feel like it came on BET. It came on. I can't remember.
I love
it
my
came
cartoons
on a few things
growing up. So that was
it didn't come
fault.
on too many things, but like things that were like well, whatever Sister came on,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
I remember that show.
Trying to think, like
Was it Half and Half?
Half and Half came on, all of that.
Yeah.
I ain't mess up. But anyway, Steve Harvey is a comedian. I don't know if you might not know that, but he's a comedian. Back in the day,
Family Feud, Steve Harvey.
Family Feud, Steve Harvey. But back in the day, he used to he would do stand up, and he eventually got him a show. And it's called the Steve Harvey Show, where he was this old musician, or he was this famous musician, retired, and he needed a job, and his friend Cedric,
the entertainer,
Cedric the entertainer, he got him a job at the school as a class music teacher. So we on season 10. And season 2, good Lord. Season 2, episode 10. And basically, throughout the episodes, the teacher, Steve, him and the principal have this thing. Mm-hmm. It's not defined. There's no label.
There's a
they
whole bunch
just
of flirting,
flirt,
talking about
calling each other names.
Big Daddy and Piggy.
And Piggy and just all types of stuff. And they flirt and they go on dates and they always show up to each other's apartments and things like that. Yeah, they make it romantic. They make it cute. It's relatable in a way. Mm-hmm. But this particular episode, season 2, episode 10, mm-hmm. they have this one character pop up, and he's this famous football player. Mm-hmm. And come to find out, he's the principal, Peggy, Principal Greer. It's her ex from college. So he walks up into her office, and Steve and Cedric walk up in the office as well, and they're like, "Look who we ran into. He said he know you, blah blah blah." He walks right up to Peggy and kiss her on the lips. I mean, tongue in throat, tongue in mouth, all that. So
yeah.
But basically, yeah, he comes into her life again, and he's all gas, no break, telling her, "I'm not letting you go. I love you. I don't want you to be with no one. I want to be with you, etc., etc." While Steve is just like, "Oh, if that's what you want, then that's what you want." You know, he's like saying, "How you gonna come up in here and push up on my principal?" You know, like
my principal.
Yeah,
he didn't say my woman.
It's his verbiage. Yeah. It's the way he goes about it through the next 3 episodes. Actually, like his name is Warren, the football player. Mm-hmm. Or Warrington. He's consistent in the next few episodes, but while he is consistent and him and Peggy start dating, basically Steve and Peggy are still flirting. Piggy is still flirting. No, that's what he calls her. But anyway, but that's the gist of basically what the episode is.
Yeah. And we sitting here thinking like, well, actually we wanted to have a conversation prior to, but it made us want to talk about this even more. Mm-hmm. Concept of lazy dating. Mm-hmm. Like, you see it, or actually the new age is situationships.
But it's lazy dating.
It's lazy dating. Basically, y'all like each other, y'all see each other, y'all flirt with each other, y'all hang with each other, y'all might do some things with each other, and I mean that's in a sexual tone. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the actual relationship or where it's actually going, y'all haven't really defined it yet. And sometimes you even get to a point where you are like boyfriend and girlfriend, but that's it. The title just kind of slows down right there. And there's a lot of different reasons, because I've even experienced this because of the way that I used to date, the way that I used to carry myself and stuff like that. But we wanted to bring it up because I'm sure there's a lot of people that's like, we've been together, but I don't know where this is going. And if you're a woman, you're sitting here thinking, when is it going to go? Where is it going to go? And when is it going to take off into this next thing?
So lazy dating could be is a multitude of things.
Mm-hmm.
Lazy dating is essentially, if you are boyfriend and girlfriend, you don't know where you're going. Mm-hmm. If you're not boyfriend and girlfriend, what is this? Mm-hmm. And it could also be, lazy dating could also be you're just dating in your proximity. You're not actually getting like you're literally just doing the bare minimum, and it's constantly with women who are in the same circle as you or
too,
men.
yeah.
Let me get that. Or men
We
that
do this.
that are in your vicinity, like just in your proximity, and you're just kind of with. I mean, I guess they would call it homie hopping or hopping from woman to woman. So lazy dating can be a multitude of things, but behind it, the true definition is just they're lazy. There's no intention behind it.
Absolutely.
There's no real foundation. It's you're just kind of
in a routine, maybe
in a routine, and there's no fruit.
There's romance. Sometimes there's dates.
There's something that seems beneficial, but at the end of the day, lazy. The definition of lazy.
And so, of course, we say this in almost every episode. There's no judgment.
No. It's just something that we're trying to point out that we noticed from that episode, and through patterns that we see through social media.
Yeah, I mean, the goal with There's an Iron Marriage with a lot of the concepts that we talk about is just breaking the pattern.
Yeah.
And recognizing where you are in a situation, where you are in your life, and how can we get you from, the current space to marriage, or if you are in marriage, of course, what can we do to work on to have a better marriage? And so, yeah, you brought up quite a bit of things that can constitute and will bring together a lazy dating situation. We said, easy hangout routine. We said, kind of going with the flow at that. The biggest thing I felt, especially, watching that episode, is men, and we're going to talk about this quite a bit because we believe biblically, and just the way that our relationship functions as well, that men should be leaders in the relationship. And in Steve's situation, it seemed like though he is man enough to flirt with Piggy, her name, he may not be man enough to lead her in the relationship. And so we question, is he an intimidated man? And I feel like there could be in scenarios where men are intimidated about the next step in the process. We saw you, we got to talk to you in whatever that moment was. We shared that moment, but when you say, okay, I want to be married, in that man's heart, is he ready to lead?
And it's not always that the man is intimidated by the woman. It could be his financial status. It could be his social status. It could be another man in the picture. It could just be that he just doesn't feel equipped, and that could be just insecurity. So he's intimidated by himself. So it's not always about being intimidated by a woman. It could be an intimidation of other sources or an internal source. And
that might be a little confusing to women at times because
he's intimidated because I make more money. Is that true?
Or
you know what I mean?
I was gonna say from this standpoint, you was man enough to talk to me. You was man enough to get my number. You was man enough to lead me to the bedroom, but
now you're not man enough to plan the future.
Right. So I want to actually share a little bit of a story of mine. It could probably go to quite a few stories, but the one that kind of hits more for me is a time when I was like on the tail end of my college career, and a young woman reached out to me, and I immediately pursued in all the wrong...
all gas, no pedal. No brake.
Yeah, but in all the wrong manners too. we was not supposed to be doing what we were supposed to be doing. What we were doing, excuse me. But I was kind of in a space where, well, I've always appreciated company. I've talked about this in prior episodes. Like I thought having a woman around, all the time felt good. Like it was a thing that I needed. And so I pursued her, and then my life started to really fall apart. I got into a car accident that could have really been bad, worse than it was. And then I got another car and got into another accident. Not long after that. But in the midst of all of between those things, it's like as a man, you gotta find your way to work. You gotta find your way to school. You gotta take care of the bills and stuff like that. And at that time, I was starting to realize the importance of like having myself taken care of. I thought before that, I felt invincible a little bit. Like, I had my cars. My cars kind of break down, but it's a difference when you have an accident and you don't have the money, to go fix it or something like that. Like the car accident was bad. So, I'm realizing like all of this is on me, and we've been messing around for a couple months, and it's like I don't know if I can handle life, and I don't know if I can handle her at the same time. And I had broke it off because I wasn't ready for that stress to be with her. It wasn't that she was a bad person. It wasn't that we maybe couldn't have worked it out. But it was just more so that my life, where I couldn't think about future with anyone. I needed to get me right. And also, I had watched the video. I guess I could have said this before, but watched the video about when men decide when they're ready for a marriage. Not just ready for a relationship, but ready for marriage. And the biggest part of that video was talking about when he's stable, when he's financially stable, life is making sense and everything. And so, which triggered that when I watched the Steve Harvey show and we're having this conversation. So I would agree that it's not always, why can't he just make plans when he clearly likes me? He clearly wants to spend time with me. Sometimes is he feeling fully as a man ready to make the next step? And now that I'm like processing it all, Steve was working in a school, and teachers are notoriously known, unfortunately, that they feel underpaid. And so for him to be trying to date the principal, who's probably making a little bit more money than he is, trying to date her, trying to make her feel like she's the one and he's ready to go. He hasn't probably processed everything in his heart to say like, I'm man enough even in this position.
Because even if you go and watch even the previous episodes before that episode, she multiple times told him like, I like you, and when you do these things, I like when you do these things, and you are a good man, and all. She's giving him compliments throughout. I mean, they crack on each other, yeah, but like she does give him compliments, reminding him that like, I like you. I don't know if she's necessarily been direct in saying I want to be with you, and neither has he. But they give each other hints like I like you. So I don't think that he's intimidated by her. I think there's something that's missing within him, where it's become lazy at that point because you aren't going all gas, no brake. You aren't planning the next steps. You didn't make plans. So like in the episode, he walks into her office and say, you know what? Let me just go see what you want to do this Saturday. He said, what you want to do this Saturday? She's like, oh, I wish you would have came to me earlier because Warrington invited me to dinner this Saturday too. You see what I'm saying? Like you didn't start planning until another man started planning, like came into the picture, and now you feel like you're missing something. So at the end of the day, even if you would have went out on that date with her, I don't know if he would have thought he won, because Warrington was still all gas, no brakes. I don't think he was intimidated by her per se.
Mm-hmm.
There might have been something in his own life that he could have been intimidated by, was more focused on, or just simply it could just simply be lazy dating.
You know, I talked about my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Have you experienced like lazy dating, or you know, I brought up the fact that, you know, I was in a little bit of a competition myself.
So I'll say this: I feel like my last relationship was lazy, because we talked about lazy dating, and then we also talked about like the definitions it can go into, as far as like there's no label, or your boyfriend and girlfriend and there's no plans. Mm-hmm. So at one point I was a girlfriend who had a boyfriend who had no plans, who would kind of say all these things but never really took action into doing anything. So I was going with the flow. Mm-hmm. Because for my reasons, or for reasons that I believed he gave, and I accepted them for my own, was we put in so much time. But looking back at it, it's like, we put in so much time to do what?
Do you have headaches when it comes to relationships, like in your dating life or in your marriage life? Like, do you have questions when it comes to marriage, and what does that even look like? Or are you having a hard time getting married? Like, ugh.
Well, if you do, we have the solution for that. We have a book titled There's an I in Marriage. Boom. This book has all the answers to anyone who is dating, single, married, any way for you to get those headaches out of those situations. The answers are in here.
Boom. Look, we have a YouTube page as well with our podcast. We talk about all these different topics. And yeah, just follow along. Like, subscribe. Come check us out. Get the book. Do it.
We ain't got nothing.
What was his like reasons of trying to keep you around?
We put in all this time.
That was it. He didn't say like, "Oh, I'm working on this,"
no.
or I got this going on, or no. He's
just we have all this time together. Why are we wasting it by breaking up?
What was like a typical day or week with y'all? Like,
oh wow.
Let's paint a picture for people.
So I was in school. So I get up, go to school, or...
You talking about college, or you talking about high
school?
Okay.
College. Mm-hmm. If we're talking about adults here, because even in high school, I didn't know what I was doing.
Y'all met in high school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But where it really got to a tipping point was in college. Once I got to college, when we actually were together 24/7, I would get up, I would go to school, and I would just be at school all day. I didn't really enjoy coming home.
He was there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when I was home, he was on the game. I was on my phone. I was texting my friends, or I was making plans to be with friends.
When did it kind of go sour? Like, was there ever a time like it was romantic?
I can't remember a time that it was romantic, but I can remember a point where it really went sour is when it was constantly a woman coming to me, and when a woman actually threatened me over him. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, I don't think this is worth it. I don't think this is worth my sanity. I'm in nursing school. This woman is calling my phone in nursing school. It got bad. And I think that's when it was like, okay, Kayla, you can either deal with this or you can leave. And I think as months went on, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna leave. But that was lazy dating per se. There was no plans. I had plans of my own, but he never voiced to me or actually took into action a plan. I would say, I'm going to buy a house, or I'm going to build a house. I'm going to have this job. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I did those things. I did those things.
You did.
It was just, yes. Whenever I was looking for that from him, it never came back. There was never a return on my investment.
Okay, so if he started making plans, like I know you said the relationship had went sour at some point, but kind of putting yourself in Piggy's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Had he started talking differently, would you have entertained it? Would you have wanted it? Yeah, would you have wanted it?
I don't know. Because the way I viewed him had already changed.
Mm.
I had already removed myself mentally and emotionally from the relationship a year before it ended.
Mm.
So it was just like, you can do whatever you want to do, bro. Yeah, I might be upset, but like at the end of the day, it got to a point where I was like, okay, even if you start talking different, it's still like I don't believe you. So that doesn't help a man either. If I'm being completely honest, I'll take full responsibility of not speaking life into someone, because we all should speak life into someone.
Mm-hmm.
I guess also on the other spectrum, have empathy for the person who has been through enough to not want to believe that person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So had he started talking different, I don't know. I probably still would have been removed.
Mm. Well, the truth of the matter is, as a man, you don't want her to get to that point, and I don't want to speak fear into you, like, you know, make sure you on your P's and Q's. If you have this anxiety because you're fearing that she's going to leave, I don't believe you're going to leave or anything like that. But at some point, as a man, being what's the word, accountable for yourself, when you're not actually putting in the effort, being transparent, being able to say, this is what I'm planning, this is what I'm doing, you get to a point where, you know, life is just happening. You could be married, because this sometimes even happens in marriage. You can be married and you start playing the game every night.
So married people can do lazy dating.
Absolutely. So
we all can fall into that. Yeah.
You know, matter of fact, I think we watched a video on Instagram. Like we bring things that happen in real life. Sometimes it's, you know, the TV shows and stuff. It's a concept, but it comes from somewhere, right? So, you know, there's real life things where people voice like what they're feeling and what they're going through. And I think there was a woman out there that said that she ended up getting a divorce because the man had never figured himself out after marriage. They got married, and he kind of hit a rut in his life per se, and she just saw him kind of go through his routine, and he never grew. That was the reason why she ended up divorcing him, because it got stale. The relationship got stale. They got kids together, but it's like she was hoping even after that they got divorced that he would find himself and be proud of the man that he's supposed to be, because you know, he wasn't doing anything. I think she said that he hopped on the game often and got in this routine, and then there was a time where even after they got divorced, like they're co-parenting or something like that. Or no, they were in the midst of filing the divorce. I think that's how it was going. Anyways, she was saying that it seemed like he had a little bit of an epiphany, and then like the next day he fell right back into his routine. And so, like, where you're talking about, like, how you might want to believe somebody's going to change, you kind of sit back and say, you know, one, don't do it for me, do it for yourself. But two, like, you got to put in that motion.
It's going to take more than you just saying it this day and waking up tomorrow and looking for a job. And then, let's say it's Monday, Tuesday come along, you back on the game. When, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take more than words. Now, yes, we should speak life into people, and we should take people, like, listen to them when they say they want change. But at the end of the day, it's also biblical that we watch their actions. Because if we continue to sit here, even especially as women, we sit here and we just believe what men tell us all the time and not watch his actions, that's how we fall into becoming a product of his environment, rather than actually rather than holding him accountable. women, we have to hold men accountable along with men holding women accountable.
Because it's not just men, but
yeah, it's both parties. It's definitely both parties, and I think that's where we get into this lazy dating, especially as women. We're just going with the flow per se. With Peggy, she's like you can tell she's like, okay, Steve, what you want? Or she's telling other people like, that don't mean I don't, just because I'm with him, that don't mean I don't have feelings for Steve still. Things like that, like that's
and then turn around and say, well, we got this thing going on, but you know,
I'm with Warrington.
Yeah, or I think it was an episode where she's like, I mean, I ain't trapped in nothing. She was basically saying like, I'm still open. Like he ain't named nothing.
Yeah, that's not healthy, because then you wonder, well, okay, what is Warrington doing? That she, so it plays hand in hand. But yeah.
So, how do we avoid this lazy dating?
How do we avoid lazy dating?
Let's talk about how can women avoid lazy dating.
I was going to speak from a woman's perspective.
Okay, and then I'll do the man. Yeah.
From a woman's perspective, to avoid lazy dating, I want to speak from truth, and I want to make sure it makes sense. Women can avoid lazy dating by seeing the man as a person. I'll say that. He's a person first before he's the head of something.
He's a human.
He's a human.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the man as a human first, you see that he also has all these other things going on. Mm-hmm. Whether he's got it together or he doesn't, at the end of the day, he has something going on. So when you see that, you're like, okay, he's not going to be my protector first, my provider first, my head first. He's going to be someone who has feelings. He's going to be someone who wakes up every day that could have trouble with something. He's going to be someone who's going to make mistakes. He's going to be someone who's going to fall short in some aspect or some way. So seeing that man as a human first, before you see him as your protector, your provider, your head, or whatever. And biblically, I say is to love him first. Love him as a person first. And once you see him as a human and you love him first, then you nurture it. You speak life into them. You speak life into him. I think going with the flow isn't the best way to go about it as a woman. You do voice your opinion, but you also submit. You also allow him to make mistakes. You know what you get where I'm going with this? You nurture him in the way that in a way that's like, okay, you're telling me you want to do this. How can I help? You become that helpmate.
Okay, are we talking about from the perspective like you have decided to become boyfriend and girlfriend, or are we talking about from like day one? Because
not from day one. No. Okay. When you become boyfriend and girlfriend. So in order to not have lazy dating, from a woman's perspective, you first see him as a human. Okay. You don't see, ooh, he got money. Ooh, he got he got his stuff together, and he's gonna take care of me. He's got a plan. Okay, yeah, he might have a plan, but that plan might deviate. Are you going to see him for his plan, or are you going to see him as a human first?
I got you.
And once you have that in play, and y'all are together, and y'all are making these plans, and y'all are doing things together, and as a woman, you see him as a human, but you still assess: is he planning? Is he doing these things? Is he making sure like his house is in order before he try to come into mine? Yes, you still do those things. But you always see him as a human first, because he might tell you, he might be on the brink of opening up a barbershop and something falls short. You gonna bounce and leave? Y'all been dating for 6 months. You gonna bounce and leave because his barbershop fell through the roof?
Mm-hmm.
But you see him as a human first. You look at his patterns and you understand him. But again, you also assess his planning. But then once you make the move as boyfriend or girlfriend, then you nurture it. You nurture it.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
So in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of speaking out on it. I do agree, like with the seeing them as a human thing. I was thinking that you don't have to be like perfect or financially all together or anything.
Right. No.
But you definitely don't want to be his burden. And
Exactly.
I think that's what you were saying too.
Exactly. Because as a woman, lazy date, I feel like if women fall into lazy dating when they are just going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
We just go with the flow because we're seeing the protector, the provider. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that.
Or even on the sexual level.
The
It's
sexual
like
level, all levels, all levels. We're like, he's supposed to be the head. He's supposed to be the head. Yes, that's true. But I want you to also see the human side of him.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his patterns. Understand his emotions. All that stuff. And that way, if it's not what you want to see, if it's not what you like, you won't fall into lazy dating. You have a choice to get out before it goes too deep. If you don't like the way he's handling his emotions, if you don't think the way that he goes about life is the safest, like you're seeing him as a human before you see him as this, oh, he got it. So you see what I'm saying?
Basically
you can get out if you don't like it.
You're basically saying like you have your standards. But then when you see it's worth investing in, then you start incorporating him.
Exactly.
But also understand that he's still human.
He's still human, yes. Because if you see him as all these things before you see him as a human first, you get into his world, you get into his pattern, and you're like, well, he's never put a label on us. When did he put a label on anything? Did you see that before you went into it?
That's real.
Did you see how he handled? Well, he's not transparent with me. Well, has he ever been transparent with you with his emotions?
Was he ever transparent with anybody about how he feels?
Have you saw him as a human first? And that's how we as women, we cannot see him as this first. We need to see him as this first. This one thing first. Mm-hmm. What is he? How is he when it comes to just being? Can we see that? And I think you can see that when you are focused on that. Instead of his pockets, instead of how smart he is, or instead of what he can do, or instead of how fine he is, or instead of how, oh, he's so romantic. Yeah, he's romantic, but then you get into this lazy dating routine and he ain't put no label. He ain't said we boyfriend and girlfriend yet, but he's romantic. That's lazy dating still. I don't care how romantic he is. I don't care how many dates he takes you on. Steve took Piggy on a bunch of dates.
We in episode 2, y'all. I mean,
season 2.
Excuse me.
They've spent so much time together, and he has not put a label on her. I hope that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
So for men, how do you avoid lazy dating? Mm-hmm. I think the biggest part is you can't be lazy yourself. I mean, that's a part about being a leader, about being the head of a household. You talk about basketball teams all day, and LeBron was a leader, and MJ was a leader, and Peyton Manning or whoever, you know, like, bro, you got to get up and make the plans yourself. But I think, so when I say you can't be lazy yourself, I think it's very important to wait to date when you're financially, emotionally, spiritually ready. As a man. Mm-hmm. That's my recommendation. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fully healed. We talked about some of these things in other podcasts, but like to a point where you are not tripping over your own self. That's the biggest problem, and because TV will tell you need to get the girl before she's gone.
She's gonna be there.
What's for you is what's for you, and I realized that I always go back to this period of time in my life when I became abstinent, and I realized like who I was as a man. I was like, man, I don't have a problem talking to women.
You said that ain't the problem.
That ain't the problem. And I'm not trying to like. I know there's men out there that might have
that as a problem.
Has
right.
a thing.
Right.
And we would love to. I would love to coach you through it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if you feel like you're like
we do coaching, y'all.
We do.
Literally,
we really do coaching. But if you are a young man and you're like, man, talking to girls ain't really the problem. I just can't get the right one. Honestly, that's probably because you're not ready just yet yourself. Because when did get to the point where I had myself together and I felt sound, I made sound decisions. And so I saw you, and I'm not saying like, there's other dimensions where other women could be in my life, but like I know that when I could see something that I could build with, I was ready to move. And therefore, I didn't want to do lazy dating anymore. I didn't want to just.
You had too much to lose.
I did have too much to lose. I've been there where I posted the girl on Instagram and I had to take her down. You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
It is a lot
of work.
People asking you questions. So what happened to this? Why was I've been there where you lay up with someone and it's just that's all you do, and not saying like. When you're young, you think that's fun. Let me just say that. When you're young, you think that's fun.
It's fun, yeah.
But when you get to a point where like life is life and you're not going anywhere, it's like, you know what? Let me get myself together. Let me find out what my passions are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you think you can live life, get your degree, and I'm speaking for college folks. You can get your degree, you get your job, and then the next thing is technically marriage or something.
I'd say even high school. You graduate high school, you go get a job.
Yeah.
And you think that's just it.
You think that you have it figured out once you start making money. Really.
Yeah,
like once
you start making more money than you used to.
When you can make your own decisions, when you start spending, like you can pay your rent, you can start paying your bills, you can figure out the decor of your home.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like
it's different.
Sure, you got there, but when you really feel like, okay, I know who I am, rather than money don't make you. You figure out who you are, and then you go make the money. That's what I mean. Because you can work at Burger King and you feel like you're making money and you cool, but then you start feeling like there's a piece of you that's like, you know what?
Missing, yeah.
I need to go do something.
We all have that.
So go. Start doing that, and then incorporate a woman when you're kind of financially stable, mentally stable, to say, this is what I got going on, and if you want to be, I want to make you a part of that, and I will call you my girlfriend. I will call you my wife. I ain't got no problem doing all of that. I will pay for most of the dates.
Because then you see her as a helpmate because you found what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Rather than just this my trophy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we also had a conversation too. Like sometimes you get in relationships and you think you got to keep it. That's the bad position to be in. Yeah. To want to have to keep a relationship.
You don't have to keep like. And we should specify on this. Yeah, like you don't keep something. You don't keep someone.
You don't keep a job. You don't.
Yeah, it's
keep a relationship.
It's more so stewarding.
Yes.
It's stewarding over it. You don't keep it. Because when we leave, everything gonna be gone. So instead of focusing on how do I keep this, how do I keep this, how do I keep this?
Keep a man.
How do I keep my income? How do I keep up with this lifestyle? How do I keep? It's not about keeping. It's okay, how do I care for this? How do I steward over this well? That way, even if it leaves me, I know that I took good care of it. Because it's going to leave. The amount of money that you made one year, you might not make the next year, but at least you have clarity in your heart and you have a sound mind knowing I took care of what I needed to take care of.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Was that leading? Is that something from Ephesians?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not quite. But I mean,
It made you think of something.
It did. Mm-hmm. Read Ephesians 5.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Ephesians 5.
It's loaded, but it's good.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like we talked about everything with lazy dating? Because
just avoid it. Avoid it as much as you can by simply just not going with the flow, especially as a woman and as a man.
Let me add this. This is the reason why there's so much debate about teaching sex in middle school and high school. And the different ways to approach it, because one group of people are like, if we teach them, they're gonna start doing it, and then there's another group that's like, well, they should know because
they are doing it.
They are doing it, and they should take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But even deeper than that, it's like, this is why they tell us don't have sex and stay abstinent,
mm-hmm.
stay abstinent till marriage, because lazy dating can easily happen.
Creep up on you if you have sex early.
You think that you know someone and you have all these hormones, and I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You even day one, you're like, yeah, let's do it, and it's like, you don't know that person, and you don't know if they're building, you don't know if they're going through chaos,
especially if you're young. What are you building?
And then potential for having a kid and stuff like that. Like, these are the things that I would tell my son and daughter, like, please avoid even lazy dating. Mm-hmm. Like, don't sit here and think that, just because you got the girl, that it's not that. You didn't just get the girl. You need to steward and make sure that you're happy in your own life, and you're not bringing her.
You're not just stringing her along.
Yeah.
Or him along, or whatever. Yeah.
So, women could do that too. Mm-hmm. Like, you say you want to be married, but you haven't moved in your own life.
Mm-hmm. Or he is proposing to you, and you're saying no. And so, what is it with you as the woman that you feel that you prefer the lazy dating than to be committed to someone like that? And if you feel like he's not the one to marry, then why continue in the lazy dating? Because then, woman, you have a choice. Like I said in the beginning, if you don't like something, don't continue in this lazy. Don't fall into the rabbit hole of lazy dating when you can make the decision now and say, I'm going to leave and let you figure that out, because I don't want to have my emotions mixed up because there's something that you got going on and I'm taking it personal.
Because you don't. I halfway heard you.
No,
I'm be honest. No, I was just thinking of a scenario like, no, legit. Like, men sometimes don't even see when a woman is dealing with that, and like she could really want to be with you, but like she at a certain age is like, yo, life is about to be serious when you start proposing. That might be, we got to talk about that at a different point. Like, why would a woman be in a relationship and then a man's ready to propose? He's proposing and she says no.
She says no. I don't know.
We got to figure that out. Y'all might have some answers. Yeah. Y'all drop them in the comments. But men, please be confident. It don't matter how many men are after her. If she's willing to make time for you, that's number one. And you have plans, please speak. Please be genuine. Please be authentic, transparent. And then if she wants you, she'll be with you. She will be with you. Yep. That's what we got. All right.
Talked about a problem, gave a solution.
Now it's up to you. We said this before. Those who are diligent and like really keeping up, not only with what we're saying, because we're not the only ones saying good things out there, but like, reading the word, spending time with God, allowing Him to to move in your life, that's what's really important. And you'll get what's coming for you. Absolutely. So we love you, we believe, and we pray that you have a great week. We'll see you next time. Talk to you later.